good morning to you out there. This is African Free Press Television, where we report Africa from a refreshing perspective. My name is Leo Oketa, and this is 1st February, and we hope the new month will bring good prospects for our country, Nigeria. These are the stories we're tracking for you at this moment. About 65 people were killed and another 70 injured after suspected Boko Haram insurgents launched a night attack on Dalori village on the outskirts of Maiduguri, Borno State. The casualty figures came from villagers and aid workers, while the media coordinator of Operation Lafia Dole Theatre Command, Mustafa Anka, who confirmed the attack, did not give casualty figure. However, Mr. Anka said the attackers who came to the village in 2 golf saloon cars targeted members of the local vigilance group at the civilian JTF. Mr. Anka also said that the motive of the insurgents was to penetrate the Dalori IDP camp, but said the attempt was resisted by soldiers, which resulted into detonation of improvised explosive devices by the suicide bombers. And meanwhile, the Nigerian army has warned members of the public to be wary of people dressed as madmen, especially in the northeast, saying there could be suicide bombers waiting to detonate their explosive devices. Acting Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar, issued the warning last Saturday following Friday's bomb blast at Gombe Market at the Adamawa State, which resulted to the death of 10 people. He said the 2 male suicide bombers who dressed like mad women and carried out suicide bomb attack in Gombe, Adamawa State is instructive in this direction. And the counter-terrorism crisis response working group, being coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor, will conduct simulation exercises on prompt response to terror attack on some public buildings in Abuja. A statement from Chief Press Secretary to Minister of Information and Culture, Mr. Joseph Muta, said the objective of the simulation exercise is to develop the Federal Capital Crisis Response Doctrine to dynamic attack in Abuja. The simulation exercise will be conducted by 9 a.m. within the precinct of Gariki Mall near the Gariki International Market on 1st February 2016, while another exercise comes up on 2nd February 2016 at the International Conference Center, Area 10, Gariki, Abuja at 9 a.m. Mr. Muta advised the public, especially the people living in the Federal Capital Territory, not to panic, as the simulation exercise is a preemptive and precautionary measure against terror attack in the FCT. The National Space Research and Development Agency has said that with the completion of the Assembling Internet Integration and Testing Center, the agency will be able to develop and build satellites in Nigeria by 2018, develop rocketry and propulsion system by 2025, and as a result develop spin-offs from space allied industries by 2026. Director General of NASDRA, Professor Said Mohammed, said the agency is committed towards realizing satellite capabilities by 2030, adding that no stone will be left unturned in the successful actualization of this noble objective, particularly in the area of training, design and development of hardware. A statement by the agency's head media and corporate communications, Dr. Alex Ale in Abuja, Nigeria, said NASDRA and the Nigerian Meteorological Agency have also mapped out possible areas of collaboration for accurate weather and climatic activities for strategic advancement on safety, disaster management, and overall benefits of the nation's economy. Former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Diziani Alisini Madueke, has dismissed rumors that her sister had kids for former President Goodluck Jonathan. This came against the backdrop of stories making the rounds about her relationship with the former president, which never went down well with the former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan. She strongly noted she had no such sister. Mrs. Madueke said this in London while responding to questions in an interview with the CEO of Ovation magazine, Mr. Dele Momodu. And while wondering how people could fabricate such blunted lies, she reiterated she has a good relationship with the former First Lady, noting that they had been family friends for a long time. And as part of preventive measures against possible outbreak of Zika virus, the federal government says it has put measures in place to ensure that the virus is not transmitted by mosquitoes in the country. This is coming as the Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO, Dr. Margaret Chan, is convening an International Health Regulations Emergency Committee on Zika virus today in Geneva, Switzerland. And this is to ascertain equally whether the Zika virus outbreak constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. And meanwhile, German researchers say they have developed a diagnostic test that can accurately detect the Zika virus in humans. Previously, there was no way to diagnose the illness apart from appearance of the distinctive symptoms. And now on the foreign scene, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta had on Sunday led African leaders in passing a resolution that could result in African countries withdrawing from the Rome statute that established the International Criminal Court in the latest assault on the court, and just weeks after the no case to answer motion submissions by Deputy President William Ruto and his co-accused Joshua Arap Sang. The African Union, during a meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, adopted a decision to develop a strategy for the mass withdrawal of African countries from the International Criminal Court. President Kenyatta said the African continent would have to contend with the International Criminal Courts that pursued weak and politicized cases. And still on the foreign scene, the African Union has decided against sending peacekeepers to crisis-hit Burundi after the embattled government said that any such move will be considered an invasion. AU Commissioner for Peace and Security Smail Chegui told a press conference in Ethiopia capital last Sunday that a proposed deployment of 5,000 troops will be deferred until permission was granted by Bujumbura. The decision came after a closed-door session at the EU where African leaders are meeting for a two-day summit. Although the decision was not a surprise considering Burundi's opposition to the plan, the African Union delegation would now fly to Burundi to hold talks aimed at ending the violence. At least 60 people were killed, including 25 Shiite fighters and dozens wounded on Sunday by a car bomb and 2 suicide bombers in the district of Damascus, where Syria's holiest Shiite shrine is located. According to a news agency, Amaq, which supports the Sunni sect, the Sunni fundamentalist Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attacks. It said 2 operations hit the most important stronghold of Shiite militias in Damascus. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the casualties were expected to rise from the suicide attacks in Sayeda, Zainaba, a district of southern Damascus, where the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah and other Iraqi and Iranian militias have a strong presence. And moreover, Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai will speak to inspire world leaders at a conference in London on Thursday to commit $1.4 billion in this year to give Syrian refugees children access to education. Heads of state and government and ministers from countries around the world will converge in London for the Supporting Syria and the Region Conference, which aims to raise funds for humanitarian crises caused by the Syrian war. And these are the stories we're tracking for you coming from African Free Press Television. For more, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press, like our Facebook page at africanfreepress.com. Join us in our discussions on various interesting topics at African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Leo Oketa. Do enjoy the rest of the day and Happy New Month.